Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to have a closer look at the Trade Explorer, which we actually started off being our mystery robot. That was about 40 days ago and a bit, and since then things has developed in a very nice direction. There is a lot of winds blowing in the sales of the Trade Explorer, and those are very positive winds. It has made quite a substantial profits in the last couple of weeks here. So ever since it basically started, we are starting to see also now exactly how it's trading. And you might be a bit surprised to see that things are actually looking good. So when things are bad. Sounds strange? Yes, but we will explain more about it later on in the video. Today we're going to have a look at obviously where you can find more details and information. We're going to show you also the two accounts we have set up, because we have two completely different setups. One which is the more conventional one with the 22 currency pairs, and then we have the more conservative one with the 10 pairs. There is options for both of them. It's entirely up to you how you want to trade it. And obviously we're also going to have a little closer look at if there's another way of trading this than these two simple ones, because there normally is, and normally it's beneficial if you can basically dissect and understand exactly how the robot trades and then break it down to only take the best parts from it. So let's get started. Let's have a look exactly where you find on the details and exactly what kind of profit we are talking about here. Now, when it comes to more information on our projects and everything that we have on our YouTube channel here, we normally refer people back also to our website. And this is the main site that you are coming to, because we are trying to combine all our individual projects into one place. And also here is where you're going to find a lot of details on our trading and trading robots and a lot more information, so that you might not necessarily get in the videos, or at least it is printed out for you. So the first part is you'll always have your introductions. You have your projects down here that you can basically go and click directly link into. And also if there's anything you need, you have our YouTube channel, Instagram and LinkedIn profiles also here that will help you out. And even the portfolio of opportunities, you can click on this particular one here or the one in the top. So that will take you to the next level. And in here, again, you have all the individual projects. We are looking at the Trade Explorer here today. And once you click on this, you will get some of the information, exactly what is the Trade Explorer. And on top of this, you will also get the 23 different currency pairs that is currently able to trade with the Trade Explorer. We said 22. It's because we are missing one currency pair. It's not always that every single broker has all of the currency pairs available to you. So you simply pick which ones that you actually want at the end here. And we can see the Trade Explorer. We always also have the last 4 weeks of profits in here, so you can follow them all the way through. And they are normally being posted over the weekend. The last two videos that we have made here, where we introduced the mystery robot, and then shortly after we did the buy, install and setup, that basically explains how you have to get a discount first of all to buy it off. So we can offer you that one, but after that it is basically all about how to install it, how to put it on your MT4 platform, and we show you that in this particular video here. And then there's more details and information as it comes into the individual months. Obviously here we have only been going for 40 days, so we only have a full month of May. Soon we will also have for the month of June, and we will add that to it. Now the details that are really interesting is obviously the FXBlue links that we have here. So this is what we're going to go through today with the 22 pairs account, and also here 10 pairs account. Clicking those two will basically take you straight to the FXBlue site, where you can follow all our trading pretty much live with less than a minute normally of delay. Trade Explorer coupon code, we still have an opportunity to provide all our subscribers a 5% discount in here. So you can use that one, as this particular EA is quite expensive. And at the same time, you will then also help and support our YouTube channel for the work we do here. The Pair FX here is also an opportunity where you can go and look exactly at the developers and the details they have here. And then we have a few more strong recommendations here, and also some links if you need a VPS, if you need a broker, This one doesn't necessarily need a Blaze broker. You can actually use it on regular accounts, as long as you always start off with the demo account to make sure that everything is working as it should be. And we're going to start off with the more traditional one. We're going to start off with 10 pair accounts. So let's have a look and see what the numbers exactly look like. So the 10 pair graph looks like this. The original account was set up so with a balance of 10,000 US dollars. You can see this is a demo account. So this has been testing now for more than 40 days. Balance has gone up to $12,691. Floating profit is quite low, so minus 20 at the moment. So that is definitely okay. And if we have a look, we can see the total return is 26.7%. Monthly return with FXBlue is currently calculated to 18.8. Weekly returns is currently calculated at 4.2. So definitely some good numbers. Trade wins in here is 76.9, so also quite high. Profit factor of 1.92. And then we can see it in pips. Trades per day normally taken 12.7, so quite a few trades. And then trade history is 42. We can see all the different currency pairs over here, so all the 10. And you can see the individual parts here, so of percentage, how much it is. So again, Aussie USD stands for 14.4%. Great British Pounds Japanese 17.8, and you can follow them all in here. And if we have a closer look at the worst day, we had only made $1.72. Worst week, 11.6. Worst month, 1,228. So that is pretty good. Trade length is about 20 hours. And then you can see average results is $5. Average win is just over 13, almost 14 here. But average loss is quite a lot more, 23.99. But again, because of the trade win percentage, it basically makes up for it at the end of the day. Let's have a look at the drawdown here. So from the equity, we know we had a bit of a drawdown, especially early on. And you can see that came very quickly after we came in. But again, it is limited, so to about 2,600 from when we started off. And after that, we have only seen some minor ones. But we will actually go to another platform afterwards to have a closer look exactly at the deposit load and at the drawdown, because FXBlue is definitely not the best one for this. Quick look at the orders. We can see there's quite a few symbols that are currently open, and the lot size is quite low. And this is the standard set that we have started off with. We haven't really made any adjustments to the lot sizing at all for this particular account. It is at 0.03. That's where they start, and then basically they go up from there. Let's have a look at the stats side of it. And again, here we have the weekly returns, monthly returns, similar to what I just showed you before. History of 42 days. Floating profits is down at $20, but definitely not something to be concerned about. Winning days, we have 31 winning days here at the moment. We have 7 winning weeks, and we have no losses at all. 2 winning months also. Closed trades, we have 405, and we have lost 122 of them. And then in here, we can again see winners, trades 405, losers, and all trades 528. So definitely a very good score so far. If we have a look at when we actually started off, we started off on the 18th of May. So that again now means here that we have been trading this for more than a month. And obviously things have been going quite okay. We can see also here we have pretty much money coming in every single day. But let's go to the week. It's easier to have a look at. So for the first week we made $73. So basically we came in the middle of the week here. And then the week after, we made up to 1,000. So that has been the highest part we had so far. And you will also notice that is actually the same time as we had the drawdown. So just keep that in mind. Since then, we have made 327, 336, 662, 257. And this particular week has just started, and we have made $11 so far. Having a look at the monthly parts, we will see that for the month of May, we made $1,228, and that's also part of the post. And right now we're actually up 1,462. So for this particular month, and we still have about 5 trading days to go before this will close off. Now let's have a look at the symbols in here. Again, we have the 10 symbols on the side. And if we have a look at the winners, you will see something very strange percentage-wise. So 94% is definitely the best one. But have a look at the net profit over here. We haven't even made $100 here yet. And you can see as the percentage actually goes down all the way to 62, you will actually see that the profits are going up. And if we actually reverse this around, you'll see New Zealand US dollars is actually the one that has made the most profit, $762. But look at the winning percent, it's only 71. Aussie USD, 549. And that has the lowest winning percentage of 62. And obviously at the naked eye here, it doesn't really make any sense, does it now? But of course, I told you there is something and more to come exactly on how this particular EA works. Now the 22 pairs seems to have done better. When we look at the FXBlue link in here, we can see that the balance is up at 13,174. The graph looks quite nice as it goes up here. It's been a bit flat on that particular side. Equity again, we are actually in positive equity at the moment with plus 36, so that is very nice. Close profits 3,174, so that has basically been cashed in. It is a demo account also on this particular case and also started with $10,000. You can see the stats in here. Total return is 32.1% at the moment. Monthly return is calculated to 22.1. Weekly returns is 4.9. Then trade wins here, it's a bit lower than the more conservative 10 pair you had before. That was up at 76, but it's not far off, 75.5. Profit factor 1.75 in here. Trades per day, 21. Obviously, there is a lot more currency pairs also to take into consideration. History is the same, 42 days. And if we have a closer look, we can also see here, worst day, it was 59 cents. Worst week, 10.83, and then worst month was $762. Trade length, 37, and then average results. Remember on the other one, it was around 5. Here is 3.61. Average win is just over $11, and average loss is 19.73. But again, trade wins percentage makes up for all of it, and you can see that all of the individual trades are here. You can see that they are all being traded all the way through here. So all of them are in here, and the percentages also, there's pretty much so many, it's difficult to see which ones has what percentage. Now let's go and have a look at the equity on this particular one here too. And you'll see that that one has had some major drawdowns. Obviously, as soon as you have more currency pairs, it also means that you are putting a higher load on your account itself. We can see it had a similar one as the 10 currency pairs one, but it only went down to 8,700. Since then, it was hovering pretty much within reason, and we're talking about less than $1,000. And then we had a big hiccup here last week, went down to equity of 8,196. And again, we will have a look at another graph afterwards, and then it came very good. And one of the things you might also notice that every single time you have a spike down here, you then have a bit of a bump up here also, extra profit. Same when you have an equity curve that is going negative. Again, you have a bit of a bump coming up here, and you had the same thing again from there to here, from here to there. And one more, you have it here again, and another one here. So obviously there is something special going on that we're going to have a look at. Having a look at the orders, we can see again, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 currently open in here. And we have made some changes on the lot sizing itself, and that came down to the equity curve that you saw here recently. We started off with 0.02. So that was the major part. Now we have changed it slightly. We can't really drop it that much, but we have put it down to 0.01. And then obviously it still goes up. Exactly how big of a difference it is, we are not exactly sure. So we need to do a bit more testing exactly on how it is, but definitely we don't want the account to blow. We don't want to get in too much trouble. The profits is definitely there already. So we just put it down to the lowest we obviously could. we can see 8 orders and $38 in plus here at the moment. And if we have a closer look at some of the stats similar to the other one here, again, we can see all the details similar to what we had before. Also here we have 29 winning days, we have 7 winning weeks, and 2 winning months with no losses whatsoever. Closed trades 664, 215 of them was in loss. And again here trades winning 664, and profits was made $7,416. Losers was 215, and we lost minus 4,241. Overall trades 880. And that basically provides the profit of $3,174 in here. If we have a look at the days, we can also see here we have started on the 18th of May, and then the profits are coming in pretty consistent here with $30–40, and then all of a sudden it jumps up at 420. That is also where we had a bit of a drop in the equity curve, and then you see again it goes back to 40, and then we have 70. Then all of a sudden you have another hype up here of 366, goes back to 40, and then again it comes up. If we have a look on a weekly basis, we can see 75 was made for the first week, and then 504, 215. Then we had a couple of really good weeks here with 836, 893, 558, and right now this particular week where we're shooting the video, the first $10 is in. Having a look at the month itself, we can see that it was a bit low from May compared to the 10 pair account that we had, 762, but definitely in June it has made more than up for it, so 2,400 already, and we still have the same 5 trading days left as we had on the other one. So let's jump over to the MQL5 platform here, and I'll show you a couple of details that will basically open up your eyes a bit more than what we can show you on the FXBlue side here. So when we look at the 10 pairs here, we can see the 27% IG demo account that we had here. We can also see the leverage 1 to 200. And then we get this nice little ring, so where it tells you algo trading 100%, profitable trades 76.7, so a lot more graphical visual presentation. Trade loss 23.3%, trading activity 100. And then we come to the important parts here. So max deposit load is 68%, so actually quite high. And maximum drawdown is 34%, so obviously a bit higher than we had in the beginning where they were extremely low, but obviously still within reason. Equity over here we have also is 12,600, so the same as we have similar to the FXBlue site itself. We can see the open trades here, and then we have a more graphical presentation telling us again in May 12%, and in June we are up 13, overall 26.92. And we have the balance, and the more important one, we have the equity curve down here. Again, we can see a bit more on the individual timelines here. So when we have the drops in it, and we can do one better and basically turn it around. And this is in the beginning where we had the drawdown of 34%. Since then, you can see it's been quite low. This one here is about 9%, and this one here is 23%. So it's keeping within what it's supposed to do, so far at least. If we go to statistics, again, the same details that we have up here. The distribution will basically tell you the individual symbols you have over here. Buy and sell, which ones are here. We are not too interested in that. We are more interested in the profit and loss. And you'll see a couple of the ones are quite high, so you will have high losses, but you also have high profits in here, and that pretty much goes for the British pounds, Japanese, the Aussie USD, and the New Zealand USD so far. The rest of them are a fair bit lower, and then you have the same thing, and basically instead of US dollars you now have it lost in pip at the end of the day. So another way of looking at it. If we go to the risk part, so that is the interesting part here, because again we have the drawdown similar to what we had before, but this is now the deposit load, basically how much of your money you are actually using right now on the account. and that becomes quite interesting. Not always for most EAs, but definitely this one here has a high deposit load compared to what we have seen on other EAs, and obviously 66% is quite high. And we can also see here is 20%, and then over here it is 36. And at the end of the day, the drawdown here is the same as we saw before, again about 9%, and this particular one is 23. So this one goes pretty much within reason, and when I say reason, I still think the deposit load is quite high. So let's go over and have a look and see exactly what the data looks like on a 22 pair one. So the 22 pair one obviously has 32% so far, a bit better than the 10 pair one. Again, there is obviously more than double as many currencies here so that you can trade. Again, it's an IG demo, it's 1 to 200. And if we have a look, again, we can see the algo trading is about 100%. We have the profitable trades, 75, similar to what we saw on FXBlue before. Losing trades, 24%. Trade activity also here, 100. And here comes now the interesting part, max deposit load. It actually went to 111%. That is definitely not good. Maximum drawdown is 37.4%. So you can see there's normally you are focused on the maximum drawdown in here. And basically what that means and how it looked on the MT4 platform itself is that it is going to be a margin call in here where you're basically going below 100%. Not necessarily that your drawdown is gone over 100%, but because you have basically entered so many different trades at a high lot size that now your max deposit load comes into effect here, and you can obviously adjust your way out of that one with the leverage. So that means obviously you have to set a different leverage in order to try and accommodate for this. We did go into more than or below the 100%, as you can see, so basically into 90%, closer to a margin call with this particular account here, but it came good again here within time. And at the end of the day, the account still had about $8,000 in it when we went into it. So it wasn't the drawdown, it was simply the deposit load that took over here instead. So simply too many trades being placed at the time. And I'll show you on the graph what that looks like. Obviously, you can see again here, the little bumps we have in here is the drawdowns that we will find. We have the growth itself, 7.62%, and then in June, a very nice 22.41%. Balance overall in here seems to be going quite well. Obviously, it has those wavy lines here for every single time it has a bump on the equity curve, and you can actually see that one here. Again, early equity curve, as we saw before, 8,300 from the 10,000, and we can see there's a few going in. It basically goes to 0. And then it goes out again, and you can also see these little jumps that you get on the balance curve every single time that the equity curves come back up towards the balance itself. I also have it here. So this was the major one that we had, and if we just turn the graph upside down, we'll end up with the maximum drawdown so far of 37%. That is obviously interesting, but as we said, there's the deposit load that we have to consider also. That normally doesn't really hit on most EAs. So let's go and have a look at the statistics also for this particular one. Again, the numbers up here are the same. The distribution that we have is obviously a lot more simple. So with the 22 pairs in here, again, we can see there's some currency pairs that has a lot higher volume, both on buy and sell. And if we have a look on the profit loss in here, we can see it even more clearly that the ones that have been in drawdown is also the ones that has a higher profit. Obviously also the loss comes with it, but overall bigger profits when you plus and minuses the two in here. Again, down also in pips, you can find the details. But if you have a closer look at this particular graph here, you'll see that most of the ones that doesn't have high drawdowns also just have small profits coming in. And then the ones that has the tendency to go into a larger drawdown basically comes out at the other end with a lot higher profit also. And we'll show you exactly how that actually works. But just before then, let's have a look at the risk part. And here we have the deposit load. So this is 100%, so that particular line here, and we can see we actually overstepped it. So ended up with the broker as a margin call, even though we still had about $8,000 in the account. So, but the drawdown, as we ended up here, so with the 37%, it actually came into a bit of a dangerous moment. So for the account itself, yes, it wasn't going to be wiped out completely, but about 50% of it was definitely in danger. And that is also the big danger of trading so many different currency pairs when you are trying to go through every single currency pair, and also when they enter into a drawdown. So let me find a chart that will tell you a bit more about this. Now we are still on the 22 pair chart. I've just found out the trading history in here, and the one I'm interested in is actually the Euro Japanese. And if we have a look at it here, we can see that the first sell was made. You can also see the date over here, 13th of June. And we're starting off with the lot size, as I mentioned here before, 0.02. We have lowered it since then, but it starts off with 0.02, and then the next trade it actually enters. It is another 0.02, and then it starts increasing slowly but surely. You have 3 here also with the 0.03, goes up to 0.4, 0.5, and again stagnates a bit. But the trend is definitely clear. It is increasing the lot size step by step, and we get up to a volume here of 28. And if we just have a look at the next page, you can see it goes up to 33, 38, 43, and basically up to 0.5 at the end of the day. And luckily enough, as you can see, it also went into a profit. So that particular one was 265 in profit. The next one also 195. But with these big lot sizes here, that is basically where the deposit load is piling up on it. So let's have a look on a graph exactly how that's going to look and why it's a bit dangerous. So to illustrate this here on a graph, so we have used this particular one. So this is not the same currency pair as you saw before, but this is the USD CAD. It doesn't really matter if it's buy or sell, things are still going to look the same. The system is still going to also apply in the same way, no matter if it's buy or sell. The first one we have off here, which I just put a red ring around, is the first entry. And that particular case for this graph, it is a 0.02 buy section that we have put up here. And we can see there's a bit of a grid line, but that particular grid here is actually quite big in the beginning, and then it seems to narrow down the further down we go. At the same time, you will also see that the lot size might not increase on the first time or second time. So there is a small little percentage, we believe, in here where it's going to increase slowly. And that's why it's not a pure martingale strategy we have to deal with in here, because martingale strategy is basically you are doubling up every single time you are making a new bet. You're not doing that one here. This is a bit more subtle, basically meaning you are doing a similar entry the first time, maybe the second time, and then slowly but surely you are increasing the lot size. So it is what we call a positive martingale, where basically the lot size increases instead of decreases, as you have seen most probably if you follow some of our profit retrievers setups in here. And obviously there's not enough retracement at that particular time. There was a bit of a retracement in here, but obviously not enough to basically get out of the trade itself. It continued to drop. It set a range of new ones, and then we had a massive dump here basically. So where it was straight down, and that is obviously where it continues to set a range of trades. You can see it's actually going so fast. So the grid is not really that well set. You have some gaps in between where it simply doesn't manage to set a new trade in time. That will happen so from time to time, but it's definitely clear to see here also that the grid is getting smaller and smaller. So every single time that the lot size is going up, you will also have a grid size that is basically getting narrower and narrower. Now what it does is actually makes the retracement so a lot easier, means that there doesn't need to be much retracement at the end of the day. Even though we had a small retracement here, it was not enough, because don't forget that this particular line that I have drawn here is the line that when the trades were all the way down here, so when the last trade was made, and luckily it came out of it again. But you can see that the system itself with the retracement obviously means that you only need about 10-15% of retracement, and you definitely don't need to go anywhere close to where it used to be. So that is one way of getting out very, very quickly again from the trades. But obviously it put the account under a tremendous amount of deposit load and also on drawdown, even though you started off just with a lot size of 0.02. As we said, we have changed it a bit to 0.01, but obviously if it's only one trade's difference at the end of the day, then it doesn't really mean too much. We will have to wait and see, but we are more interested in obviously making sure that the account will survive, so that we can live to fight another day and figure out maybe there is some of the currency pairs that are simply too risky. So as you can see, we are learning more and more about the Trade Explorer. We are learning exactly where are the Achilles heels of this particular EA, because there is normally always a few. We don't just look at the profits itself, but obviously also the risks that are involved in trading this particular one. And as you can see, there's a big difference in between the 22 currency pairs. Yes, you are getting higher profits, but we certainly like the way that the setup, it's also different set files for the 10 pair one. They are more conservative. And I think you are still getting somewhere around 15-20% per month. So if the results that we have now is anything to bear by, and we believe that that might be the better way forward, obviously we will continue to trade both of these accounts, and we might even try to do a mix in between the two to figure out which ones are working the best. But as I just showed you here, so one of the things that are basically both good and bad with the Trade Explorer itself, as you might have noticed, and I promised you to tell you a bit more about it. So when we started off, is that when you have the drawdowns, you have quite a lot of opened lot sizing in here. And what it basically does is it doesn't close off as soon as it's positive. So if you have been trading the profit retriever before, a lot of people set up their EAs, so they are just making $4 or $5. This particular Trade Explorer actually takes advantage of all the open trades that you have. So if you have 40 or 50 trades, as I showed you here before, it will basically stay in the game. So even though it is now in a slightly positive plus, there seems to be a bit of a trailing stop in here. There seems to be an extra mechanism in here on the settings that we can see, where it's not only securing a bit of a positive results before it actually steps out of the trade, but it actually gains several $100s after it had that particular drawdown. So the percentage might vary a bit, we're not exactly sure, but that is definitely why it's making the bulk of its money. And that's also why you have to be careful of trying to take some of the currency pairs out that you might think, oh, they are doing big drawdowns in here. But at the end of the day, that is actually what is making a lot of the profit that the Trade Explorer does. It basically just takes advantage of the open trades that are in there. When the price reverses, you need only a small little positive percent so to go our way, and that will take an account from being zero or just in slight positive into $400 or $500, and that's why you see those jumps on the graph at the end of the day. So I hope that I've given you a bit of an insight to all this. So obviously, again, this is not trading advice. This is not investment advice. You and you alone are responsible for your own trading. We are just trying to show you exactly that this is our experience. This is what we have found trading the Trade Explorer. We do like it a lot because most of the time the drawdown are low, but obviously they are difficult to manage. But there is some mechanisms in there, and we have also shown you in the previous video that I just had on the screen here before on how exactly you can go in and limit the individual currency pairs to, let's say, maximum $500 loss. So you can do that, but we have taken them off, and so has the developers, in order to see exactly what is the maximum the EA can do. But if you are trading FTMO or other things with this particular one, which it could actually be quite good at, you might want to put some stops in there to make sure that you don't go over your daily loss limits. So I really hope that this particular video here has shown you exactly what the Trade Explorer can do. And as I said again, if you are interested in doing this yourself, please go to our website. You will find the discount links in there. You will support our channel through the video material, obviously, that we are doing here. And hopefully you'll get some profits out of your EA too. So I hope to see you on one of my next videos. Bye-bye.